Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. And if you are on the podcast platforms, I'd appreciate if you would subscribe. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, please do the same, as well as hitting that like button while you're at it. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. And I want to talk about this dark situation. So let's get into this conversation. I don't know what in the world is going on, but it definitely is scary. The nursing industry, it is one that has so many issues. If you are on YouTube, you see lots of videos from people who are either currently nurses or who used to be nurses who are talking about getting out of the industry, why they're quitting. It is one that is not the easiest to be in. And a lot of them, they really don't get paid what they're worth. They have levels to nursing. You've got the registered nurses, the RN, which I believe is like top tier. You've got the LPNs, the CNAs, which is like a certified nursing assistant. And, you know, sometimes they get clowned because people see them as nothing more than people who are like health home care workers who take, care of bedridden patients, changing bedpans and things like that. But honestly, they don't get paid what they are worth, and people really should put respect on their names because a lot of people need those people. And it's a hard thing to be in. I know someone who has the need for a home health care worker for their relative, and they have issues getting people to come into service because it's just hard to keep people. But anyway, this story that came out of Florida about thousands of nurses that got fake diplomas and they were providing care without even the proper training. It's not even just that they went to school, passed all of the things that they needed to pass to graduate, but they couldn't pass the nursing board exam to become licensed because that is the next step. It's really scary. So the story is that more than 7,600 aspiring nurses cheated the healthcare system and obtained fraudulent nursing degrees from 3 South Florida nursing schools, according to federal authorities, in a scheme healthcare professionals say could undermine trust in the profession. And you think it could undermine? It already has, and that's why I wanted to talk about this story. So it says, about 2,600 of these people used fake diplomas to take the nursing board exam and passed, giving them access to work in healthcare facilities across the country. The diplomas were issued by Siena College in Broward County, the Palm Beach School of Nursing in Palm Beach County, and Sacred Heart International Institute in Broward County, all of which are now closed. Though the scheme involved Florida schools, it affected multiple states. This person says, I'm in South Florida. It's a hotbed of fraud, whether it's identity fraud or PPP fraud and healthcare fraud, but this is something that we have not seen before. Fernando Porras, Assistant Special Agent in Charge, told the news. Porras is leading the oversight investigation for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The investigation, known as Operation Nightingale, found that the national scheme began in 2016 and ended in 2021, accumulating more than $100 million. Porras says, we sent in on several occasions undercover agents to purchase these degrees as they were explained to us, and they were able to purchase the degrees having no medical background or having taken any course. They just paid the amount, $17,000. Like, sit and think about that for a moment. These people went in and they just purchased degrees like on demand. Okay. And listen, I'm not saying that this is an anomaly because I believe stuff like this happens in other industries as well. But these people are dealing with patients. So how did they pass the freaking exam? All right. On January 25th, the U.S. Attorney's Office of the Southern District of Florida indicted 25 individuals in Delaware, New York, New Jersey, Texas, and Florida who were allegedly working as recruiters for the illegal licensing scheme. You don't just wake up one morning and find out that the Palm Beach School of Nursing or Siena College and Sacred Heart International Institute is issuing fake degrees. You don't see that publicized in an infomercial. You find out about it because you are told by a recruiter, Porras said. The 25 defendants are each facing up to 20 years in prison for allegedly participating in a wire fraud scheme that created the shortcuts for thousands to receive bogus nursing diplomas. According to Porras, the Florida schools that were issuing the fake diplomas were once legitimate schools. They were certified by the state of Florida to provide nursing degrees. They got to a point that their passing rate was dismal, and so they were put on probation, and then shortly after, their certification was revoked. So once they were revoked and they could no longer issue any diplomas, they would backdate the attendance of these students. So let's say they were revoked in 2019. Then they would issue the certificate and the diploma as if the student had attended between 2016 and 2017. It's actually kind of smart. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying it's actually kind of smart. So now state licensing boards nationwide have annulled the licenses of dozens of nurses who were practicing with fake degrees. In November, Delaware revoked 26 licenses of nurses tied to the scheme, but officials say there could still be more nurses who need to be let go. We have heard accounts of additional individuals that have been sent to the Board of Nursing for investigation regarding concern with attendance at those 3 South Florida schools. Chris Otto, executive director of the Delaware Nursing Association, told Yahoo News. And some of the individuals who obtained illegal registered nursing degrees, which is like the top tier, were already licensed practical nurses, like I said, LPNs. For those individuals, their RN or registered nurse license is the one that is annulled. But if they have met the licensing requirements to practice as an LPN, that LPN license is still, in most cases, active. So I wonder how that would work, guys, because if they were already licensed LPNs, but they got the degrees and certifications to become an RN, which would, again, give them the ability to make more money, but isn't there some type of ethical thing there where I'm not saying that they can revoke the LPN license that they got, but couldn't they lose their jobs and get some sort of fines or something like that? I don't know. I'm just asking. You can let me know what you think. In Georgia, 22 working nurses obtained fake licenses and diplomas. According to local Atlanta TV station WSB-TV, the Georgia Board of Nursing sent letters to the nurses asking them to surrender their fraudulent nursing license on January 17th, but they haven't yet. And do you think that they would? Like, did you really think that they were just going to come up to wherever this office is located and just say, here's my license, I'm sorry? But I'm going to play this clip from the Atlanta news station.
And yet on the job and caring for patients. Channel 2 consumer investigator Justin Gray has learned the Georgia Board of Nursing is asking 22 Georgia nurses to surrender their licenses. This after federal officials caught 3 Florida-based nursing schools selling bogus diplomas for thousands of dollars a pop. And Justin with us now live tonight in downtown Atlanta. And it's just crazy to think that someone who maybe wasn't qualified, or put needles and otherwise into people, Justin.
Yeah, Justin, taking care of patients without training. The FBI, they provided a list of 22 names to state investigators here, names of nurses practicing in Georgia, they say had fake degrees. This is the letter sent by the Georgia Board of Nursing to 22 nurses practicing here in Georgia, alleging the school transcripts the nurses used to get their nursing license are, quote, fraudulent.
Oh, concerning and alarming.
Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger oversees the nursing board. Those 22 nurses were given 30 days to voluntarily surrender their nursing licenses. So far, none of them have done that.
Our job is to make sure that our people in Georgia, our patients, know that they have credentialed nurses that are practicing that.
The Georgia nurses allegedly among the thousands who paid $15,000 each for a bogus diploma from 3 South Florida nursing schools. The FBI and Justice Department announced the bust of the $100 million nationwide fraud ring last week. They call it Operation Nightingale. And instead of going to class, the nurses bought degrees and transcripts.
The fact of the matter, though, is the nursing candidates had done no work for these diplomas.
We've confirmed 3 of those nurses with sham degrees worked at the Atlanta VA Medical Center. VA telling us, quote, within days of learning of this nationwide scheme, we removed 3 nurses from patient care at the Atlanta VA Medical Center. Their removal is very unfortunate, but patient safety is and must be our primary responsibility at VA. Secretary Raffensperger tells me the Georgia Nursing Board is now working with the FBI to get the evidence it needs to take action to revoke the licenses of any of the nurses who refuse to surrender them voluntarily.
That'll be put to an end very quickly.
Again, so far, none of those nurses have voluntarily surrendered their license. That's why the FBI now working with state investigators. And as of now, we don't know the name of those 22 nurses alleged to have bought the fake degrees. We do know, though, that the 3 who are working at the Atlanta VA Medical Center are no longer seeing patients. Reporting live in downtown Atlanta, Justin Gray, Channel 2 Action News.
So you heard the clip of that news story. And again, like I said, do they really think people are going to come and surrender their licenses that they paid upwards of $17,000 for? And they're making the money that they're making. I'm assuming they are working in the industry because, guys, there is already a nursing shortage. So some of these people, they're going to lose their jobs, and there's already a nursing shortage. I don't know what needs to change. I don't know what can be changed in this situation, but it's a crazy situation that's going on right now in healthcare, and it's all around. It's not just the healthcare industry, but when you see that there are nurses who are really wanting to get out of the industry, some already have, and then you've got this happening, it's just a sad situation all around. And I don't know. I get it. It was a shortcut. I was about to say, I don't know what would cause these people to go to this route to purchase a diploma, thinking that they were never going to get found out. And for some of them, it may have been several years that they have been operating under these fake licenses. But sometimes it takes a while for these things to get up to you, to catch up to you. And I don't know what is the next steps where this is concerned, because again, like the person was saying, these people are already, a lot of them are already working in the industry. They're already serving patients. And if there was any situations where there could have been possible any type of medical malpractice, someone was injured, or even, God forbid, unfortunately lost their lives, and they were under the care of any of these nurses, then that is liability for the doctor's offices or hospitals that these people were working in. And so this is a huge domino effect, and it is a crazy situation. But I just wanted to talk about this because the schools, their licensing, their certifications were revoked. And they decided they wanted to still make money, so they were selling degrees and diplomas. They said, well, okay, you want to shut us down? Then we're going to still make money, and this is how we're going to do it. So F all of y'all. That's pretty much what it speaks to me, because it's not easy to have a school. It really isn't. It's a hard thing to do. But to be so selfish and ruthless that you still wanted to make the money, so you're just going to sell people the diplomas. How did you even get to the point where you decided that you were going to do that? And not only that, was there anyone that while they were certified, that didn't do well in school, but they still, for the price being right, sold them their diploma and say, well, you know what? You didn't do well in school, but we're going to go ahead and pass you anyway. Because think about it. You passing in school and graduating and getting your diploma, your degree, whatever, they call the piece of paper that they get once they finish school, does not really mean at that moment you can go and get a job in the nursing industry. You still have to take that state board licensing exam to become licensed, because you have to be licensed in the industry in order to work in it. So after these people are out of their hair, then they go on and they pass the exams. If they don't pass, it's on them. But they got their money. The school got their money, so they really don't care. But when you go to a school such as this, I know, like when I went to school for aesthetics. I'm a licensed esthetician. The school that I went to, they had a very good passing rate with the state board, because they want to have a really high percentage when it comes to the students who are graduating from that school passing the state board exam to become licensed. Because if they don't have a really high percentage, it shows horribly on the school that you're not really doing your job. So I just think that they got to the point where they just didn't really care, because to me it sounds like they were just passing people and letting them go on to the state board exam so that they could fail. It's not a good look for the school. So their certification got revoked, and now they're just selling people diplomas and degrees. So it didn't say in the story whether the people from the school got arrested. I would assume this is a crime. I would assume so. It just says that it was found out, but I didn't see anything about these people being arrested. So I guess we'll find out more. But I really wanted to talk about this because it's like, what in the world is going on in the nursing industry? You guys, let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening and subscribing. This is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.